The Universal Laws That Govern Human Life by Jim Rohn. When discussing universal laws that govern human life, we typically refer to principles and concepts that are considered fundamental across various cultures, societies, and legal systems. These universal laws are often grounded in ethical, moral, and philosophical perspectives. Here are some examples. Natural law is a philosophical and legal theory that suggests certain rights and moral values are inherent in human nature and can be discerned through reason. This concept has a long history dating back to ancient Greek and Roman philosophy, but it has been developed and refined by thinkers throughout history, including St. Thomas Aquinas, John Locke, and Immanuel Kant. Key aspects of natural law include universality. Natural law is considered to be universal and immutable, applying to all human beings regardless of cultural, religious, or societal differences. It is believed to derive from human nature itself rather than being contingent on human-made laws or social conventions. Rationality. Natural law is believed to be accessible to human reason. Through rational inquiry and reflection, individuals can discern the fundamental principles of natural law and apply them to guide their actions and decisions. Objective morality. Natural law theory posits an objective morality rooted in the inherent nature of human beings. It suggests that certain actions are inherently right or wrong based on their conformity with or deviation from the principles of natural law. Relationship with positive law. Natural law theorists often argue for the primacy of natural law over positive, man-made law. According to this view, positive laws that conflict with natural law principles are unjust and may be morally or legally invalid. Basic rights. Natural law theory typically recognizes certain basic rights as inherent in human nature, such as the rights to life, liberty, and property. These rights are seen as fundamental and deserving of protection by legal and political systems. Ethical foundations. Natural law provides an ethical foundation for moral reasoning and legal principles. It shapes ethical frameworks and guides judgments about right and wrong, just and unjust, in various domains of human life. Natural law has influenced various legal systems and ethical theories throughout history. While its interpretations and applications may vary, the concept of natural law continues to be a significant topic of debate and discussion in philosophy, law, and ethics. Human rights refer to fundamental rights and freedoms that every individual is entitled to by virtue of being human. These rights are considered inherent, universal, and inalienable, meaning they cannot be taken away or surrendered. Human rights are typically protected and upheld by governments, international organizations, and legal frameworks. Key aspects of human rights include universal. Human rights are considered universal, meaning they apply to all individuals regardless of nationality, ethnicity, religion, gender, or any other status. They are not dependent on citizenship or membership in a particular group. Inalienable. Human rights are inherent to human beings and cannot be surrendered or revoked. They are considered essential for human dignity and are protected by international law and legal frameworks. Indivisible and interdependent. Human rights are indivisible, meaning they are interconnected and interdependent. The enjoyment of one right often depends on the fulfillment of other rights. For example, the right to education may be hindered if an individual does not have access to adequate health care or freedom from discrimination. International recognition. Human rights are recognized and protected by international human rights instruments and agreements. The Universal Declaration of Human Rights, UDHR, adopted by the United Nations General Assembly in 1948, is a foundational document that sets out a comprehensive list of human rights principles. Civil, political, economic, social, and cultural rights. Human rights encompass a wide range of rights, including civil and political rights, e.g., freedom of speech, right to a fair trial, economic rights, e.g., right to work, right to an adequate standard of living, social rights, e.g., right to health care, right to education, and cultural rights, e.g., right to participate in cultural life. Non-discrimination. Human rights require that all individuals be treated equally and without discrimination based on characteristics such as race, ethnicity, gender, religion, or social status. Discrimination undermines the principles of human rights and is prohibited under international law. Accountability and enforcement. Governments and other entities are responsible for respecting, protecting, and fulfilling human rights. International and regional mechanisms, as well as domestic legal systems, provide avenues for accountability and enforcement when human rights are violated. Human rights serve as a foundation for principles of justice, equality, and dignity in societies around the world. They provide a framework for promoting peace, social progress, and sustainable development. However, the realization of human rights remains a complex and ongoing challenge, with many individuals and groups facing obstacles to the full enjoyment of their rights. The Golden Rule, also known as the ethic of reciprocity, is a moral principle that is found in various religious, philosophical, and cultural traditions worldwide. It suggests that individuals should treat others as they would like to be treated themselves. The Golden Rule is often expressed in various forms but generally emphasizes empathy, compassion, and fairness in human interactions. The Golden Rule has been articulated in different ways across cultures and religions. Christianity. In Christianity, the Golden Rule is derived from the teachings of Jesus Christ and is expressed in the Bible, particularly in the Gospel of Matthew 7:12, where Jesus says, "So in everything, do to others what you would have them do to you, for this sums up the law and the prophets." Judaism. In Judaism, the Golden Rule is reflected in the Torah, the first 5 books of the Hebrew Bible, and is known as the principle of love your neighbor as yourself, Leviticus 19 verse 18. Islam. In Islam, a similar concept is found in the Hadith, sayings and actions of the Prophet Muhammad, where it is stated, "None of you truly believes until he wishes for his brother what he wishes for himself." Buddhism. In Buddhism, the Golden Rule is expressed in the Dhammapada, a collection of teachings attributed to Gautama Buddha, where it is stated, "Hurt not others with that which pains yourself." Confucianism. In Confucianism, the Golden Rule is summarized by Confucius as, "Do not do to others what you do not want done to yourself." Analects 15:23. Hinduism. In Hinduism, the Golden Rule is expressed in the Mahabharata, an epic scripture, where it is stated, "This is the sum of duty. Do not do to others what would cause pain if done to you." The Golden Rule serves as a guiding principle for ethical behavior and moral decision-making across diverse cultural and religious contexts. It emphasizes empathy, respect, and the importance of considering the well-being of others in our actions and interactions. The principle of non-aggression, often abbreviated as NAP, is a moral or ethical principle that prohibits the initiation of force or coercion against others. It is a foundational concept in libertarian philosophy, classical liberalism, and certain strands of anarchism. The principle asserts that individuals have the right to be free from aggression, violence, or coercion initiated by others, and that the use of force is only justified in self-defense or in response to aggression. Key aspects of the principle of non-aggression include prohibition of initiation of force. The NAP prohibits individuals or groups from initiating force, violence, or coercion against others or their property without their consent. This includes physical harm, theft, fraud, and other forms of aggression. Voluntary interactions. The NAP promotes voluntary interactions and exchanges between individuals, where agreements and transactions are based on mutual consent and respect for each other's rights. Self-defense. The NAP recognizes the right of individuals to defend themselves, their property, and others from aggression. Defensive force is considered permissible as a response to aggression or imminent threats. Property rights. The NAP is often linked to the concept of property rights, which includes the right to own and control one's body, possessions, and property. Violations of property rights through theft, vandalism, or trespassing are seen as breaches of the NAP. Individual autonomy. The NAP emphasizes individual autonomy and personal sovereignty, where individuals have the freedom to live their lives according to their own choices and preferences, as long as they do not infringe upon the rights of others. Legal and ethical framework. In libertarian and classical liberal thought, the NAP serves as a foundational principle for developing legal and ethical frameworks that prioritize individual freedom, limited government intervention, and respect for property rights. Critics of the NAP argue that it may not provide clear guidance in complex moral dilemmas or situations where competing rights and interests are at stake. Additionally, there can be debates over the definition of aggression and what constitutes justified self-defense. Despite these criticisms, the principle of non-aggression continues to be a central concept in discussions of ethics, politics, and the role of government in society. The principle of beneficence is an ethical principle that emphasizes the moral obligation to act for the benefit of others and to promote their well-being. It is one of the 4 key principles of bioethics, along with autonomy, non-maleficence, and justice. The principle of beneficence guides actions and decisions aimed at maximizing positive outcomes and minimizing harm, particularly in the context of healthcare and medical ethics, but it also applies more broadly in various ethical domains. Key aspects of the principle of beneficence include promotion of well-being. Beneficence requires individuals to actively seek to promote the well-being of others and to enhance their quality of life. This may involve actions aimed at improving physical health, mental well-being, emotional support, or overall flourishing. Prevention of harm. Beneficence also involves a commitment to preventing harm and mitigating potential risks to others. This includes avoiding actions or decisions that could cause harm, as well as taking steps to protect individuals from harm, injury, or adverse consequences. Altruism and compassion. Beneficence is rooted in principles of altruism, compassion, and empathy toward others. It emphasizes the importance of caring for the welfare of others and showing concern for their needs, interests, and dignity. Professional ethics. In healthcare and medical ethics, the principle of beneficence is a guiding principle for healthcare professionals, researchers, and caregivers. It informs decisions about patient care, treatment options, research protocols, and the allocation of resources in ways that prioritize the well-being of patients and other individuals. Balancing risks and benefits. Beneficence requires careful consideration and balancing of potential risks and benefits in decision-making. It involves weighing the potential benefits of an action or intervention against the potential harms or risks to determine the most ethically appropriate course of action. Respect for autonomy. While beneficence emphasizes the importance of promoting the well-being of others, it also recognizes the principle of autonomy and respects individuals' rights to make their own decisions about their lives and health. Beneficence should be practiced in a manner that respects individuals' autonomy and preferences. The principle of beneficence plays a central role in ethical reasoning and decision-making across various fields, including healthcare, research ethics, social work, and philanthropy. It reflects a fundamental moral obligation to act in ways that contribute to the welfare and flourishing of others, guided by principles of compassion, empathy, and altruism. The principle of autonomy is a fundamental ethical principle that emphasizes the right of individuals to make their own decisions about their lives, free from undue interference or coercion. Autonomy is considered a cornerstone of ethical decision-making and is central to fields such as medical ethics, bioethics, and moral philosophy. Key aspects of the principle of autonomy include self-governance. Autonomy refers to the ability of individuals to govern themselves and make choices that reflect their own values, beliefs, and preferences. It involves the capacity for independent decision-making and self-determination. Informed consent. Autonomy is closely linked to the concept of informed consent, which requires that individuals be provided with relevant information about their options, risks, and benefits so they can make decisions based on their own understanding and values. Respect for persons. Autonomy is grounded in respect for the dignity and worth of every individual. It recognizes that individuals have the right to make decisions about their own lives and bodies, even if those decisions may not be in line with societal norms or the preferences of others. Independence. Autonomy emphasizes independence and freedom from external influence or coercion. It requires that individuals have the ability to make decisions free from undue pressure, manipulation, or coercion from others. Capacity and competence. Autonomy is predicated on the notion of individuals having the capacity and competence to make decisions. This may involve factors such as cognitive ability, understanding of relevant information, and the absence of factors that impair decision-making, e.g., mental illness, intoxication. Shared decision-making. Autonomy does not preclude collaboration or consultation with others in decision-making processes. In many contexts, autonomy is supported through shared decision-making approaches where individuals work with healthcare providers, caregivers, or other stakeholders to make decisions that reflect their values and preferences. The principle of autonomy is often balanced with other ethical principles, such as beneficence, doing good, non-maleficence, avoiding harm, and justice, fairness, particularly in contexts where individual autonomy may conflict with other moral considerations. However, autonomy is generally considered a fundamental moral value that underpins concepts of freedom, dignity, and respect for persons in ethical decision-making. The principle of justice is a fundamental ethical principle that emphasizes fairness, equality, and impartiality in the distribution of benefits, resources, opportunities, and burdens within society. It is central to various ethical theories, legal systems, and social frameworks, guiding decisions about resource allocation, policies, and societal structures. Key aspects of the principle of justice include fairness and equality. Justice requires that individuals be treated fairly and equally, without discrimination based on factors such as race, gender, ethnicity, socioeconomic status, or other irrelevant characteristics. It emphasizes the importance of ensuring equal opportunities and access to resources for all members of society. Equity and redistribution. Justice may also involve considerations of equity, which acknowledges that individuals have different needs, capacities, and circumstances. Equity requires that resources and opportunities be distributed in a manner that accounts for these differences and aims to reduce disparities and promote social inclusion. Impartiality and neutrality. Justice requires impartiality and neutrality in decision-making, where judgments are made based on objective criteria and without favoritism or bias. It emphasizes the importance of procedural fairness and due process in legal, political, and social contexts. Restorative justice. In addition to distributive justice, principles of restorative justice emphasize repairing harm, addressing underlying causes of injustice, and restoring relationships between individuals and communities. Restorative justice approaches focus on accountability, reconciliation, and healing rather than punitive measures. Legal and social justice. Justice encompasses both legal justice, which involves the fair and equitable application of laws and regulations, and social justice, which addresses broader systemic issues of inequality, discrimination, and marginalization. Social justice aims to address root causes of injustice and promote systemic change to create more equitable societies. Global justice. Justice extends beyond national boundaries to encompass principles of global justice, which address issues of inequality, poverty, human rights violations, and environmental degradation on a global scale. Global justice emphasizes the responsibilities of individuals, communities, and nations to promote fairness and address global challenges collaboratively. The principle of justice serves as a guiding principle for ethical decision-making and policy development in various contexts, including healthcare, education, criminal justice, economics, and environmental sustainability. It emphasizes the importance of creating inclusive, equitable, and just societies that uphold the dignity and rights of all individuals. These universal laws and principles provide ethical and moral guidelines that influence legal systems and societal norms across cultures. While interpretations and applications may vary, they reflect fundamental aspects of human dignity, freedom, and mutual respect.